It's important to give people credit when they are in fact correct. It's important to acknowledge, even when you disagree with somebody fundamentally on multiple different issues, when you can actually find points of agreement, and when those points of agreement are not on matters of opinion, but are actually rooted in a common sense of facts. And it's especially important to do this when the facts, the common thing that we should all agree on, the underlying information, have been so misconstrued by this person's political tribe. And Stephen Bonnell, Destiny for most of you out there, is one of these people, and the Kyle Rittenhouse situation is the situation where he's been unbelievably on point from the beginning. And I believe he was actually departnered on Twitch over the fact that he was reporting this accurately, which angered a lot of people on the progressive left, and then they took something that he said hyperbolically and cut it out of context and used it to get Twitch to cancel him. Ironically, after he did the Better Discourse panel on how cancel culture doesn't really exist. But that's not the point. We're not here to take pot shots or anything like that. We're here to talk about this video that I found on his channel, and it was sent around to me by a lot of different people, where it's probably the worst constructed debate panel ever. And I've been on one of these giant, multiple, almost a dozen people debate panels. They're all terrible. But Destiny makes clear and obvious points against people that are just asserting crazy positions. And I think we all need a diet from the crazy. We all need keto sponsorship transition. Come on, guys, you know. Keto has been in the news a lot in recent years. This is because thousands of people have reported better weight loss and better health due to the fact that they've been taking on keto. However, we on this channel have a bit of a secret weapon, something that literally nobody on planet Earth except for you listening to this right now actually know about. And that is the special keto power over at Keto with Justice. At KetoWithJustice.com, we have a premium powdered version of the most ketogenic MCT oil called C8. It helps give you many of the benefits of elevated ketones without having to completely follow the rigid guidelines of the keto diet. Within weeks of taking this powder, users report 3 amazing side effects. The first is a suppression in appetite, which makes it way easier for you to lose weight. The second is more energy, so you're more emboldened to go on and take on the day. And third, users report having better mental focus. If you want to experience these fantastic benefits for yourself, don't sleep on Keto with Justice. Go to my custom URL, KetoWithJustice.com, get yourself a very special Black Friday 51% off, and by the way, this comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Enjoy all the perks and benefits of the keto diet without the rigidity of actually going on the keto diet. KetoWithJustice.com to get your order now. So in this video, which I'm not even going to read the title of, I will link it in full in the description if you guys want to check it out. Destiny encounters misinformation and disinformation about 3 separate cases that are brought up that we have covered in detail on this channel. And he pushes back on all of these cases because a lot of this is just foundational lie on top of foundational lie, which skews the perspective of the events that follow it. And the order that they actually occurred was the Jacob Blake shooting, the Kyle Rittenhouse event, and the Michael Reindoehl situation, which happened shortly after Rittenhouse. And Reindoehl is often contrasted to Rittenhouse despite the fact that the circumstances of Michael Reindoehl's case are clear and obvious murder, not even questionable self-defense. But unfortunately, since the problem here fundamentally is an ideological block against having a common root in fact, we have to go through these cases repeatedly and explain them to people when they present misinformation. Perfect example of this, Jacob Blake leading it off, where they talk about how the riots post Jacob Blake shooting were justified because for some reason they're under the impression that Jacob Blake shooting was unjustified.
Kenosha was having an issue with policing.
Kenosha was not having a problem with policing, okay? The man that was shot by the cops and paralyzed, absolutely, the cops were 1,000,000% in the right, okay? It's not even remotely debatable.
Got shot like 7 times in the back.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%,
Yeah,
absolutely in the right. The problem is that people like you, Vivian, and other people on the left that have these huge ideological narratives don't even bother to look at the facts of the case. The reason why 2 people are dead in the Rittenhouse riots is directly because of people like you that stoke the flames and get people upset about policing in the United States over cases where the police were 100% in the right. You are engaging in a form of stochastic terrorism when you are on here stoking these flames.
Now, Destiny comes out strong with the position that is not popular in left-wing circles. Obviously, obviously. They think the shooting of Jacob Blake was unwarranted. They're counting shots like when you're in a pressurized situation, you're actually counting shots if you're an officer. And if he would have let them go on, I am certain they would have brought up the original myth of Jacob Blake, where he was just breaking up a fight and the police showed up, and because he was a black man, they done shooted him. They shooted him 7 times, Jacob Blake. I can't even believe what's going on even. It's actually scary. And by the way, this narrative is actually scary because I was listening to some of the protesters chanting outside the Rittenhouse trial, and I noticed something in their chant that didn't make a lot of sense to me because I actually live in reality.
If Kenosha don't get it, if Kenosha don't get it, if Kenosha don't get it, 7 shots in the back, 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 7 shots in the back.
Yeah, they're chanting 7 shots to the back outside of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, which leads me to believe that the left has spread so much misinformation about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. They've tried to make Kyle a racist so hard that a lot of these people might actually be under the impression that Kyle Rittenhouse shot Jacob Blake. But that's not what we're going to get into. We got to get into Destiny talking about the Jacob Blake shooting because I think it's important that he lays out the facts, which I'm going to support because in a live stream, you don't actually have everything at your fingertips.
If you look at the actual shooting of Jacob Blake, okay? Even the way that Vivian describes it, she says she doesn't know about it, but she's obviously heard about it, right? The guy was shot 7 times. This was why the riots were happening in Kenosha, because a poor guy got in a car and 3 cops shot him in the back. They lit him up in the back for no fucking reason while he was in the car. That's what people say, okay? What actually happened was a guy that had already had an outstanding warrant for like 3rd-degree sexual assault, that had already penetrated his ex-girlfriend with his fucking finger, that had showed up at his house to steal her fucking car and her fucking children. Okay, when he was on his way out, the police got a call. They showed up. They wrestled with the guy. They tried to tase him 2 times. Okay, the guy managed to get away from the cops and was running towards the car that had the keys in it, had a knife in the passenger seat that multiple people testified to, and I think had children in the back seat. Finally, the cops fired on this guy when he got in the seat and tried to drive away.
So Destiny very clearly and forcefully right there laid out the fact that the Jacob Blake shooting was justified. However, there are certain things that he left out because, again, you don't have the information at the ready that I want to fill in to better support that point. First and foremost, the myth, and this wasn't brought up because they didn't have the time to bring it up, that Jacob Blake was breaking up a fight is nonsensical. The 911 call names Jacob Blake specifically.
Booker calls police.
Emergency. Yes, I need an officer. Jacob Blake is here, and he has the keys to a rental that I purchased that I need to take back, and he's not trying to release it.
Police respond to a, quote, family trouble. They're told there's a warrant for Blake on domestic violence offenses and sexual assault.
The only reason you tell the police that Jacob Blake is here is because you think that that full name means something to the police and they're going to come ready. On top of that, Jacob Blake was in violation of a restraining order and had an open warrant against him for sexual assault. Now, that's something to remember when the left disingenuously brings up the point that Kyle crossed state lines to a state that he didn't even live in, that he shouldn't have been in, even though Kyle had every legal right, just like anybody else, to be there. His dad lived in Kenosha. Kyle worked in Kenosha. His best friend, who was dating his sister, lived in Kenosha. He was tied to this community. Jacob Blake was actually legally not allowed to be where he was. The restraining order was in effect, and he had an open felony warrant. So when the police encountered Jacob Blake, who again, the police were called on specifically because he had taken the keys to a car that he didn't own, they were ready to arrest him on that felony warrant and for that restraining order violation. Blake fought the cops. Again, there's video of this. I'm not going to play it for you because of the violence. He tanked at least 1 taser, although I've heard reporting that he tanked 2 tasers, and he walked with purpose with a knife in his hand to the vehicle with children in the back. And this is all while the mother of these children is screaming, "My kids are back there." So Blake, fleeing felon, taking off with children, the police cannot let him do that. He has a knife, which is a deadly weapon, and if he gets in the car and he's fleeing on a warrant with children, their lives are in danger. Had to stop him. That's why they shot Jacob Blake. 100% justified. Some of the facts that Destiny didn't lay out even greater support that theory. I just realized how weird I said that last sentence. Some of the facts that Destiny didn't say better support that theory or greater support that theory. Not the best English on my part. But let's move on to the Rittenhouse case, because again, we have a person who's just making stuff up about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Firstly, we keep referring to him as a white nationalist. Can we stop doing that? There is no evidence. I don't think that any white.
I referred to him as a white nationalist.
Okay, can you say, Vivian, you understand this was not
absolutely accused of him being a white.
Okay, well that's fine. That's fine. We'll walk it all back now, right? You understand this was not a white nationalist rally, yes?
It was a white supremacist.
Yeah, can you show me that? Oh wait, we're all gonna wait here while you find it.
Guard?
Yes, show me that they are white. That was a white supremacist group. We'll wait.
Sorry, do you want me to find the Facebook post from the Kenosha Guard that they had deleted the next fucking day because they because they showed
I'm sure there's screenshots.
Show me. Yeah, show. I want to see. And when you say white supremacist, it can't be like we disagree about Jacob Blake or we think that the cops were right or we have like the thin blue line. I want you to show me some white supremacist shit.
So I'm not going to spend too much time on the whole Kenosha Guard situation, but this just goes to show you how misinformation and disinformation from commenters, even after it's been debunked and the original person stops talking about it, can get out there. So there was a lawsuit from Anthony Huber's family against the Kenosha Guard, and they sued under this weird provision that was actually originally intended to target the Ku Klux Klan, and they based this lawsuit on the idea that Kyle Rittenhouse was responding to the Kenosha Guard's Facebook page. This is how it became a thing in the media. A bunch of lefties latched onto this. They talked about how, a Klan law being used related to Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse basically in the Klan. White nationalists look at this Kenosha Guard thing, and they claim that the Kenosha Guard was somehow a covert or overt or whatever white nationalist organization.
In response, on August 25th, the leader of an anti-protest militia, the Kenosha Guard, former Kenosha alderman Kevin Mathewson, puts out a call on Facebook saying, "Any patriots willing to take up arms and defend Out City from the evil thugs?" Non-doubt, they are currently planning on the next part of the city to burn tonight. Mathewson is currently being sued by the partner of Anthony Huber, one of the men killed by Rittenhouse. Kenosha News reports. The suit uses Reconstruction-era federal law inspired by the rise of the Ku Klux Klan that bars people from conspiring for the purpose of depriving people of equal protection under the law. Most recently, the federal law was used in a lawsuit against organizers of the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017. The Klan and the Unite the Right rally. That's some esteemed company, Kevin. He said he did not know Rittenhouse and they had not interacted with him that night. Facebook claimed there was no direct links between his accounts and the Kenosha Guard page. However, common sense and likely further discovery counsels that Rittenhouse would not have known about or traveled to Kenosha but for the call to arms having been widely publicized, the lawsuit states. So here's Rittenhouse, a supporter of the Blue Lives Matter movement who participated in police cadet programs, a guy who likes the police and probably wouldn't like if people protested the actions of the police. He sees this and decides he needs to join up with these guys.
But here's the thing, they all posted their videos, they all made these insane claims, and they cited the fact that this was a lawsuit under this Klan thing in order to basically fart in the room and stink up the joint. None of them did follow-up videos about how this lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice because it was totally baseless. So literally everything about the Kenosha Guard is a red herring. It's misinformation, disinformation, however you want to label it, something that wasn't corrected and wasn't retracted. We went over this. It was actually in the Thought Slime video that I responded to, and it was just nonsensical then, and it's nonsensical even more so now. And I believe Destiny says at one point in his response to this Vivian person that she didn't do the research herself, she just heard it from a commentator. This is almost 100% true, because again, the original commentators don't even go with this narrative because it's not talked about anymore because the lawsuit was frivolous, and that's why it's just not a thing in the mainstream media anymore. The Kenosha Guard had nothing to do with Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse had nothing to do with the Kenosha Guard. Remember, Kyle Rittenhouse's phone was downloaded by the prosecution. They got a warrant for it. Kyle Rittenhouse turned this information over, and there was no evidence on his phone that linked him to this organization or even showed that he visited the Facebook page of this organization or saw the ad. We know for a fact that Kyle was called, or his friend was called, and then he went with them to the area. That's what happened. It's nothing to do with this Facebook page. It was a spur of the moment thing. The rioting was much bigger than this one Facebook page. The outrage to the rioting was much bigger than this one Facebook page. But this Vivian person obviously hasn't gotten the memo because they stopped looking into it when they found the thing that they wanted. And finally, we have the Michael Forrest Reindoehl situation. And I wanted to talk about this because I've been referencing this multiple different times as somebody that the left wing is supporting, despite the fact that on video, this person was hiding in a parking lot and he stalked and murdered Aaron J. Danielson without any cause. In a clear, unambiguous way, this was first-degree murder. And they get into this whole thing about this person maybe pepper spraying the Michael Reindoehl guy. It did not happen. And in fact, Michael Reindoehl in his Vice interview claims that this is not what happened and this isn't why he shot him. We all know, or you at least should know, that Jay Danielson held up the pepper spray, the bullet went through the pepper spray, and ultimately ended up killing Danielson. That's why you hear 2 pops in the video.
Okay, and the Patriot Prayer dude was trying to assault the chap.
Wrong.
Nope.
There is zero anything corroborating that. In fact, there is witness testimony saying that Reindoehl had been chasing the other guy around that night. And if you watch the video, you will not see a single fucking thing that justifies what that cowardly murderous fuck did before he ran back to his house across state lines and then called media to give a little fucking interview before the cops showed up and killed him because he tried to kill the cops when they showed up to arrest him.
Now again, credit where credit is due because Destiny is right on this case, although he doesn't know all the details, so he doesn't actually know how correct he actually is. Because what we determined when we looked into his Vice interview, the surveillance video, the warrants, and all the information was that Michael Reindoehl not only had no just cause to shoot Jay Danielson, but he, for a fact, knew that he didn't have any just cause, and that's why he was making up information in the media based on what he learned about his victim after the fact. And what do I mean by that? How can I prove that? In the Vice interview, Michael Reindoehl said to the Vice reporter that Jay Danielson was threatening his friend of color with a knife. Now, this would be interesting information. Deadly force can be used in self-defense and defense of others. But the thing is, Jay Danielson didn't have a knife on him. So where did Michael Reindoehl get the information that Danielson had a knife on him at the time that he murdered him? He got it from Instagram because earlier in the day, Danielson posted a video on Instagram or an image on Instagram where he was holding a knife and a paintball gun. Reindoehl saw that in the reporting and used that for a backwards justification for the shooting. And the reason you know for a fact that Reindoehl was not confronted with a deadly weapon is because Jay Danielson had a firearm on him at the time of the shooting, but it was holstered in his belt under his shirt. So Reindoehl didn't see it. He didn't realize that Jay Danielson, if he wanted to get into a deadly confrontation, wouldn't have used a knife that he had earlier in the day that he dropped off at his home. He would have used the gun that he had to get into that confrontation. But Danielson, after being ambushed, expected maybe a fight, so he pulled out his pepper spray, or he already had his pepper spray in the hand. Again, that's not clear because that's not covered by the surveillance. But point being, this was not a deadly encounter and he was not threatening anybody with a knife. He did not have a knife on his person. That was information from Instagram earlier in the day. Michael Forrest Reindoehl was lying, backwards justifying his motivation because he knew he stalked and murdered this man. So I give credit to Steven for knowing enough about this case and not letting this person slide, and it is hilarious to watch them backpedal repeatedly on them asserting that there's a strong case for Michael Reindoehl's self-defense to, okay, I never said that, not really, I'm just saying you can make the argument, but there is no argument, and the evidence from his interview bears that out. On top of that, there was another thing that I heard from this Vivian person that is just nonsensical.
You don't actually know what the fuck you're talking about because the cops fucking showed up, right? And there are numerous witness reports, and there's currently a homicide investigation going on into Reindoehl's death, right? Numerous witness reports saying that they didn't fucking announce themselves and that they just fucking opened fire.
Hold on,
right?
They didn't announce themselves? There was a warrant for his arrest and they showed up in a fucking SWAT van.
They have to announce themselves and they can't just shoot at him, you moron.
You understand?
Started shooting him.
So first of all, the police shooting Reindoehl is a completely different discussion from the issue of Reindoehl murdering Aaron J. Danielson in cold blood, which he did after he stalked and targeted him based on the political leanings of Danielson and the fact that he was 100% Antifa and a far left extremist. But the police shooting, you hear something about this, about how they didn't announce themselves and he was eating gummy bears or whatever, and you might get the impression that Michael Reindoehl was in his home or in a home at the time of the shooting. That's not the case. He was in the parking lot of an apartment complex. The shooting came out in the vehicle. And what the investigation that concluded in March of this year determined, 2021, was that Michael Reindoehl fired a shot at the officers from the vehicle. They found a .380 caliber round shell casing in his car. There was broken glass because obviously they're shooting back and forth. And the position of the shell casing was consistent with Reindoehl firing. All the allegations about Reindoehl not having the police announce themselves makes you evoke images of the lies related to Breonna Taylor, but in reality, this was an outside encounter and they were wearing police vests. Reindoehl shot at them, and you could tell from the Vice interview that Reindoehl was in my opinion, this is speculation, let's be fair, so I'm saying you can tell, but this is my analysis of that, and I think it's pretty solid, and other people have come to this conclusion, that Reindoehl was giving this interview and he was in a suicide by cop mode because he knew he wasn't getting out of this. So yeah, that's what happened. There's no ambiguity around the shooting at all. Anybody who's asserting that the police assassinated him are ridiculous. And the basis of this claim, by the way, is Trump tweeting out criticism of the Portland police and how they should have arrested Reindoehl because Trump wasn't getting updates on the fact that Reindoehl was in Washington state. So they assume that's somehow a thing to assassinate Michael Reindoehl. It was a criticism of the Portland police, not the U.S. Marshals in tandem with the Olympia police. There's no case for an assassination. Now again, I'm going to recommend that you watch this video in full. There's way more misinformation and disinformation being put forward that you guys can be entertained by, but overall, credit where credit is due to Steven in this instance. Now that's all I really have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, show me by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social medias, they're linked in the description, support me via the support links. This has been me talking about the thing with the thing and there's 12 people in the thing. Till next time.